Good evening and welcome to Telling Tales. Here we tell atmospheric stories together through the medium of tabletop role-playing games. It is Monday evening and we are playing Masks of Nyarlathotep with 7th edition Call of Cthulhu. Those books are heavy one-handed. We are having lots of fun doing it. We'll get into that stuff in a moment. Below the stream are links to all of our things, our Discord, which you should join and come and chat with us to keep up to date with what we're doing and just chat about the games and other things, book recommendations, Kickstarter recommendations, everything that your heart could hope for if you are hoping for recommendations and discussions of the games we're playing. That aside, also our social media, our other streaming platforms, so YouTube and Twitch. And I think I said, but our Patreon is there. So if you enjoy what we do, you can support us through that. There's been some changes on the channel recently. There is a video on the YouTube. Matt, who kind of started this off and has run a lot of other games on the channel, is departing, but we are continuing. The video is on the YouTube. You should definitely watch that. But for now, let's get back into Masks. So the group are in New York. They are investigating the death of their good friend Jackson Elias, who they met in the Peru preamble. I was going to say that's not the word I'm thinking of, but you know what I mean. Prologue. That's kind of what Peru was. They've also found other things to try and help with, like somebody who may be being framed for numerous deaths that have been similar to Jackson's death. They are currently looking into a art supplier called Juju House in Harlem. We are a little light on players tonight this evening, potentially, but let's first bring on Jack, who plays Ted. Hey, Jack.
Hey, Jonny.
So last session, the group found out that I think 3 days will be the dark of the moon, and it's likely that there will be a gathering at Juju House at that point. I think you also got a telegram from Carlton Ramsey, who is the executor of Jackson's estate and is kind of acting as a sort of fixer character for the group at the moment, to say that he'd had a further chat with Emerson Imports, who were a group of interest to you, and that the person that they spoke to seemed honest when saying that they remembered Jackson's visit and are sorry to hear of his passing. Ted obviously had fallen foul of poking around Emerson Imports previously.
Yeah. The session that I wasn't in, so I'm sort of trying to wipe my hands of any wrongdoing or, putting Ted in unneeded danger, although we did establish that I would have probably done exactly the same things as happened anyway. While poking around, Ted and Mr. Farwell were confronted by the police, and instead of trying to come up with any sort of clever cover story, they chose the option to just cheese it. Which ended up Ted resembling Swiss cheese very slightly as he was shot.
Swiss cheese with just the one hole.
Just the one hole, yeah.
Yeah.
So not too close to Swiss cheese yet. The last session was spent with him recovering, but I think quite quickly, seeing as it was the next day, getting itchy feet and wanting to get out there a little bit as well, even though it was a more relaxed day compared to the day before of getting shot. So I think 3 days is Ted is hoping is enough for him to be able to get out there, and he's keen to investigate still. I'm sure if my microphone down because I'm sitting as high as possible, but I look really short. Yeah, so
Cool.
get out there.
Nice, thank you. Let's bring on John, who plays Merritt Barton. Hey, John.
Hi, Jonny.
What's Merritt thinking about all this?
That it's a little bit of a mess, and he doesn't really know what's going on. Which if asked, he would probably put it more eloquently than that for sure. But there's everyone seems to be chasing something that may or may not exist, and it's weird and confusing. He kind of wants to know more, but he kind of doesn't.
Yeah, that seems sensible.
Yeah.
And finally, Steve, who plays Edwin Price. Hey, Steve.
Hi, Jonny.
As the I was going to say most law-abiding, but that's not. But the one who is most bound by the law in the group.
The one who'd be most embarrassed by breaking the law, probably.
Yeah.
As the responsible adult of the group.
How's Edwin doing with everything?
Well, Edwin was much happier spending the day in the library than, spending the night in a hotel room where somebody had been shot and was bleeding on the bed. But yes, the knowledge that we've kind of got 3 days before we have to. Well, the deadline on Juju House and the next meeting is concerning, and yes, not really sure what's best to be done about that. Like, we need more information. I think we can't just walk in there because that would be risky. But as to what we should be doing beforehand, I'm not quite sure yet. Yeah, bit nervous. It's probably fine. It's probably just a whole load of artwork, and we'll buy souvenirs, and it's all just some misunderstanding. We did find a lot of interesting names last week, though, and they're all a bit sort of, Nitocris, big one. Father of all bats. Not sure how bats fit in yet. Leave the bats for later, I think.
Not a bad idea. Cool. So I think at the end of last session, you were just still like in the restaurant that you were in. But we can time jump if you want to being back at the hotel, or if you have anything further there. I think the server that you were dealing with, you'd had the conversation and she had walked off. But that's not to say that you can't investigate further here if you want to. Or obviously you are kind of across the street from Juju House anyway, or around the corner.
Yeah, I think the plan was originally to take a look at the rear of, because there's a street where Juju House backs onto, which is kind of easier to walk nonchalantly down than getting to the front of Juju House, because that's in a courtyard, isn't it? Ransom Court?
Yes, that's correct. Yep.
So perhaps, as we leave the restaurant, I mean, I can still see the appeal of like having a taxi or something to hand in case we need to scarper, but what do the Merritt and Ted? What are your thoughts?
Taxi is safer, and Ted's not really in a position to run too fast.
This is true. This
But
is true.
if we're just walking past, we should be fine.
Is a taxi like, is the street behind your house like a narrow back alley, or is it like a street?
So the one that it backs onto is a street, like a full like avenue.
Then I see no reason not to coast past in a taxi, I guess.
I suppose we
Otherwise,
won't.
get out and look closer if we want.
And if Mrs. Farwell or Sam was here, I think Mrs. Farwell would probably agree with the taxi anyway. She was being the cautious one out of the group last week, wasn't she? So that sounds like a majority vote for taxi then, really.
Mm-hmm.
I guess
Okay.
we're just checking whether the lights are on, whether there's anybody visible.
Any hooded figures walking in with
Yeah, red
daggers in their
scarves,
hands,
yeah.
but yeah.
Any
Dragging-
police loitering in the area?
Yeah, police presence. Yeah, checking. That is definitely a.
I mean, that's the real danger, I think, to us really at the
Yeah.
minute. Ted can.
I don't like it when the keeper laughs at that.
Where's my?
That's just Jonny queuing up all the damaged dice.
Okay.
Perhaps it's a random table for evil taxi drivers.
So you are heading down you managed to hail a taxi, no problem. And are heading down the road. Can everybody make me spot hidden rolls?
Yes. Probably.
It's quite late now as well, worth noting. Like reasonably. So, it's not 1 a.m, but it's
I just pass.
Typically, I fail 75 over 53. For the record, the only 2 skills I have ticked in this portion are library use and law. So I'm doing really well.
I failed.
okay. John, Merritt, you're going past. You obviously have not asked the taxi to go at 3 miles an hour because that would be quite suspicious. But as you're passing, you notice that there's. I think Ted and Mr. Farwell would have told you about the pawn shop probably.
Yeah.
And you're kind of making a best guess, I would say, on where these buildings are from the back, because obviously they don't have the addresses on this side. Or many don't anyway. And you see a building with some steps coming down from the back door, and you wonder if that may be the pawn shop. And to the left of that, attached, is another building, by which I just mean another store back, which has 3 windows, barred windows, and again, you're moving, not you're not doing 60 miles an hour, but you're not going walking pace either. You catch some kind of movement, and you can't tell whether it's a little draft that's moving the curtains or whether it's a flickering light that's in there making the shadows move or something but there's kind of one of those 2 things or something similar. There's a movement of some description, whether it's a flickering light or whether it's yeah, a small draft moving the curtains around or something like that. You're not 100% sure which on first passing.
Did anyone else see that in the window? I could have sworn I saw something. How easy is it to talk to the taxi driver in old style carriages?
You can. Do you want me to make a spot hidden roll for them? So.
Yeah, go for it.
I mean, I don't have a stat for them, but I don't think a 70 is going to do it.
No, probably not. I'm gonna slip him whatever amount of money it would take to ask him to circle back and take the street again.
Okay, yeah. So everybody can make another spot hidden roll, and you can have what's the thing? Bonus dice on the 10s. Ooh. Okay.
I did rather better this time.
Well, I did better by 9 points, but still a failure.
What did you get, Steve?
Well, the first roll I got 41, and then I used my bonus die and rolled 1.
Oh, that beats my 9.
So I've cleaned my glasses, obviously. Perhaps if the taxi's turned around, I'm actually now at the window rather than being the other side of it. That might work.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so you spot that it is definitely a flickering light in there.
I will sigh. Yes.
Yeah, a lantern or a candle or something of that sort of description.
And this is in what we think is the abandoned one.
No, this you think is in Juju House.
In Juju House, sorry.
Yeah.
I will say I'll nod to Merit. I won't say much now, but yes, knowing nod.
I'll sort of look around to see if anyone is planning on taking any action from this, but Merritt's probably won't jump straight to it. I'm going to guess.
I think we need to talk.
I'm going to guess, even though he's not here and I don't want to talk for Justin, that Mr. Farwell would ordinarily be up for doing something, but that maybe Mrs. Farwell is giving him a look.
That seems like a fair
It
assumption.
Seems reasonable.
sounds feasible.
Yeah.
So we'll just head back to the hotel.
I mean, you said it's quite late, isn't it, Johnny? So it'd be weird. Like, normally shops aren't open at this time. It's like past the normal closing time at most shops. Even though
I can't remember exactly what time we said last week, but I'm going to say probably 9 o'clock, something like that at this point. So yeah, unless there's some kind of late night opening on, but then you wouldn't expect a dim flickering light for that kind of thing. Obviously, with it being a gallery, they may have an evening opening, but yeah, you would expect that people would want to see the works in the full, full light.
How set back is the courtyard entrance? Can you see anything of, like,
Like if you're on West 137th and you look down the alleyway, if the light is favorable, like there's no like light between stopping you from seeing that end, you could see the front door and barred front window theoretically from like the other end of the alleyway. So if you were in full sunlight in the middle of the day, you'd be able to see the door and the window.
Okay,
so if you're thinking, sorry, go on, Steve.
Yeah, so at night, if there was somebody in the front of the shop and had the lights on, we'd be able to see the lights from the front of the shop?
Quite possibly.
Okay.
Quite possibly.
I mean, I guess, I'd perhaps sort of suggest that the taxi do a loop as it takes us back to the hotel, go past the front, and just see whether we can see, if there is an evening event on or something, then I would expect to see some sign of life at the front. But yes, not wanting to actually get close. So it's a bit of an outside stretch.
Okay. Yeah, can you make me... It'll be hard spot hidden rolls for this.
Sure. Nope. My luck has returned.
2.
Wow.
Yeah, I failed. These dice are rubbish.
Have them off.
Okay, John. A 2. The front lights are not on.
I mean, if it's any other shop, we'd just assume it's the guy that, like, or the person that lives there. You know, it's going to live above the shop or something. It's just because it's a weird one, potentially.
Yeah, the front light is not on, and you cannot see that same flicker from the front. I don't think you have any idea of the internal layout of the shop at present. Is that right?
No, we've not been inside or anything.
So you don't know whether the inside is split into more than one room, etc., which would be the reason for the light not getting to the front.
Well, there's definitely no one in the front of the building.
I mean, our options are get closer, or we go back, or we go into next door. This is Ted talking quietly, hopefully, so the driver doesn't really hear. But as we labour over the decision, we're going to get further and further away. It might make the decision for us. Or just keep telling him to circle around.
I don't know. I feel like we could very well be getting suspicious about a man staying up late to do his accounting.
With the stories we've heard about Juju House, I don't really think that's... As much as I would like to be proven wrong, well, we have heard a lot.
I mean, if we're going to go in there, is it wise to go in when we think there's somebody in there? If we're going to do it, we're probably better off going when we're supposed to be there, i.e. in the day, or when we don't think anyone's around.
I feel whatever we do, I think we need more time to discuss it. Let's get back to the hotel and...
That's probably, yeah, a good idea.
I think we'll ask the taxi driver to move on.
Yep. Cool. Yeah, you head back to the hotel. And I think you probably all feel a little relief at being in a well-lit reasonably safe building when you get back there.
Yeah, certainly.
But you are still nourished by the wonderful meal that you had.
So, Merritt, Ted, and
others.
others. How do we approach this? I feel as if, well, in terms of no, let me be blunt, legal options, we are running somewhat low. I mean, perhaps we can talk to Emerson Imports and try to gain more information about Juju House if Emerson Imports can be trusted. But if we know that, I don't even know, if there is a meeting in 3 nights' time, do we even want to be at Juju House then? That would seem. We certainly can't be inside at that point.
I think the fact that there will be something happening at the dark of the moon around this place that is associated or in some way implicated in a series of murders probably means that for the sake of following the lead, we will need to be there to investigate. I think we should make a decision whether we think it's safer for that to be the first time we go, effectively blind to the layout, the usual people who may be there, or whether we think we could chance a visit during the daytime to I think I have heard people refer to it as casing the joint, or whether making ourselves known during daylight would draw attention of the police.
In terms of this question for you, Johnny, in terms of the general area in the day, it's not going to be like, it's in my head, it's New York's always busy, but I've never been, especially not in the 20s. If we went in the day, it's not like we're going to get gunned down in the streets potentially. It's
no, absolutely not.
Do you
no,
know what I mean?
It's just
once is lucky, twice would be,
it's
reasonably
like
empty at
being
night,
in
but
any city just wandering down a street.
Yeah. So I don't think there's major risk.
I mean, we were stopped by the police all over the place.
Yeah.
I did wonder. So I'm presuming none of us have a great disguise skill. I certainly don't.
You say that, but Ted actually does have points in disguise.
Oh, okay. Because I was wondering whether maybe we could spend some money, find somebody in New York, like a makeup artist or someone like that, or even just buy crazy stuff from a shop, just to maybe lessen the chances of being immediately detected by these corrupt section of the police. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want the entire group to turn up and start perusing stuff in Juju House, because that way, fake mustaches would fall off. It would be a mess. But getting eyes on the inside could be useful. So there's potentially that. There's maybe we can. I don't know whether architectural plans are held anywhere. And I mean, in my head, it's like a trope thing of, oh, go to the council and look up plans for buildings.
No, I was thinking that as well. We go to City Hall and find plans for the building.
There's research, maybe, just searching for news stories or stuff like that about Juju House, maybe. But plans could well be useful if we can find them.
There are other shops in that court as well, aren't there? Obviously, that aren't
Well,
Juju House or a closed down one.
There's a pawnbrokers.
It's just those two.
Oh, hang on, is the closed one the closed pawnbroker? Is that?
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's just those two. Okay. I was hoping if there's more than one, we could go into the open one, compare it to the closed one, and see if their layouts are virtually identical. We could try and
yeah.
We
could set up a little sort of pop-up stall in the start selling mulled wine, or I don't know, hot dogs.
Blur them out.
Well, then we can observe.
We could just go into the.
I mean, we could,
pawnbrokers
but we could make a bit of money selling hot dogs. Fun the thing.
Let's use our disguise skills to disguise ourselves as mulled wine and hot dog vendors, and stake out the joint while making money. Yeah.
But there's definitely, like, on the night that that the event is going on, it does seem as if creeping into that deserted shop and keeping an eye on things could prove useful, dangerous. I don't know, though, because, like, if all you see is people, is that the event that we're not supposed to miss? If we just hang around outside, is that have we lost the opportunity?
I mean, I think going into the shop's a good idea anyway on the day of, or if we can get in there. Hopefully without being noticed, purely because if someone's keeping an eye out for us, they might not be expecting us to be in the shop next door. They'll be looking at the entrance to the alleyway or the street we obviously went down, the back of the Juju houses. Okay, we don't think there's a way into Juju House from the shop next door, but at least it's something, and we can see the comings and going, potentially through the crack in the door or through one of the windows, maybe see how many people are actually going in Juju House.
How thoroughly did you examine the pawnbrokers when you were in there?
It looked like nobody had been in there for a long while. There's thick dust on everything. There wasn't like footprints or anything.
I'm wondering whether there's a chance that there may be a route into the Juju House through there.
I mean, potentially through the basement or the attic or something. Could be joined that way. It doesn't. Yeah. It sounds like what might be useful is going to City Hall or something in these 3 days we've got and seeing the plans for the area if we can get hold of them. And that might reveal either, at the very least, it might give us a layout of Juju House or something. And best case scenario, it gives us a way in through the shop next door. And then we can go in reasonably whenever we want. We don't have to wait for the event. We can essentially sneak around a little bit before. Hypothetically, obviously, legally, we would never do that. Ted looks at Edwin.
Edwin is furiously studying something on the table, or oh, look at that! I'm just yes, in a world of my own.
So our way forward, maybe examining plans of the building at City Hall, or visiting Emerson Imports, or making a trip out to Massachusetts.
Which would take a couple of days, but potentially give us information on Well, whether it's this cult or whether it's just cults in general, I don't know. We could split the party all sorts of ways, and
I think I did say that you could get there and back in a day, so I'm happy to honour that and visit both places. It would be literally a full day, so like an early start and back for bed. But
we've got 2 actual days, haven't we? So if it was 3 nights, we've got tonight. How many sleeps have we got, Jonny?
Yeah, so you're now late on the
21st. I've been noting this down. And the moon date, the new moon, is in 3 days' time on the 24th.
The 24th. So you've got 22nd, 23rd, and 24th
Right.
day times.
Yeah.
So probably 72 hours from now.
Why don't we head out? Did we say we were just going to turn up to these universities and hope that we can see them?
Edwin had been in touch with one of them.
Miriam Attright.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think I had been in some form of communication with the Australian one.
Miskatonic, yes. Professor Anthony Cowles.
Possibly. For some reason, our Dropbox link isn't working for me. So I can't check, but I believe you.
It is
Yes,
that name, yeah.
Anthony Cowles, yes.
If we do just want to drop in, we're probably better off doing that tomorrow. That gives us a full day to do it in a couple of days. Leeway, there's anything can happen on the journey there or back. Potentially. A storm could blow through. Remember, it's January and there's been blizzards and everything.
We could get stuck. There could be major snow or rain. The train might be diverted. We might be diverted to a small village.
Just
Someone might
outside
have
of Glasgow.
Yes.
Conversations about sandwiches.
Yeah.
And while we're doing that,
if you don't understand these jokes, there are 24 episodes of our Call of Cthulhu campaigns on YouTube.
we get one of our contacts to investigate City Hall, maybe the name of the publisher or
yes, that could be an option.
Get one of them to
Carlton
find out
Ramsey?
any plans. Yeah, see if they could find the plans for us.
That seems a good idea if that's something they can do.
It might make them more likely to retrieve them if they're coming from someone with an American accent rather than a load of what looks like potentially tourists asking randomly for. It's more suspicious if someone was to.
I mean, potentially, like if we were to, Ramsey could maybe suggest if the pawnbrokers is still empty and hasn't been occupied for ages, maybe could express some sort of interest in buying or renting the place as an excuse to
see the plans and
yeah.
Okay, do you want to send him a telegram? Or
yes, that seems a good idea.
Presumably we can leave it at reception to be sent sort of first thing in the morning, and then we can get on the road as early as possible as well, then can't we?
Yeah.
I think maybe us out of character, us doing it this way will also let Sam and Justin decide in retrospect what the Farwells are doing.
Yeah, that's a good point. They can go off
until I make a roll on their behalf. Then canonically they're here.
Yeah, as soon as Jonny goes, which one does the police officer shoot, and include them in the count, then canonically they're with us.
Cool. So yeah, you leave the telegram with reception. Is there anything else that you want to do before the morning where you will presumably get up and go straight to the train station?
Presumably we can leave it at reception to be sent sort of first thing in the morning, and then we can get on the road as early as possible. Then can't we?
Yeah. Okay, do you want to send him a telegram? Or
I'll probably send a telegram to the professor to tell him that we are arriving today.
Yep.
Yeah, that seems sensible. I'd do the same for Miss Atwright.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, you do that, and then to bed. And an early morning. You're definitely up before the sun. And
Sorry.
go on, Jack.
Quick mechanical question: do I need to do any rolls to get health back, or is it weekly?
Let me double check. I think your major wound thing is gone, but I think you've done that anyway. There's so many summaries at the back of this rule book that it's like another rule book all over again.
So I would have been looking through for you, but I was trying to debug Dropbox problems in the other channel. I have a vague feeling that you get a point of health back per day, but I couldn't. I could be making that up. This shouldn't be so hard to find. My apologies. Wounds and healing. Oh yeah. If the character has not sustained a major wound, which you now don't count as having, the character recovers a hit point per day.
Hey. Operating at 70% efficiency.
That's better than me, and you've got a gunshot wound. Okay, up before the sun. And the weather is being kind to you today.
Excellent.
It is cold, but blue skies with those little wispy white clouds. So yeah, once the sun is up, it's a lovely day. By which time you are already sitting on a train, and heading north. So who do you want to go see first?
I'm thinking the professor at Miskatonic.
Okay.
Wait. No, because the letter from the librarian said that one of the books that Jackson was after was at Miskatonic, didn't she?
It's a great question.
The book about which you inquired is no longer in our collection. The information you seek may be found. I'm sure Miskatonic had come up in context of that at some point.
I can't even find the letter, so you're doing better than
Which
I.
handout was that, John?
That is 6.
America 6. Oh, may be found here in other volumes. So the book is about the book about which you inquired is no longer in our collection. The information you seek, may be found here in other volumes. So it's basically go there, ask. Hopefully Miriam can help, I think.
Yeah, I think it would be worth going to Miriam first, because if we then go to see the professor, then we may have a second chance at checking another library.
Sure, yes. Sounds good. And we know that Jackson was definitely interested in a particular thing from the Harvard University Library. So, yeah. Okay, no, that makes sense. Good call.
Okay. For any of you that would be interested in such things, you cross the state line into Massachusetts. So if any of you are, not particularly well traveled, you might be thinking, and 2 of the 50
That's
ticked
another
off.
state, yeah, ticked off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you head to Harvard University, and you arrive reasonably bright and early. It is a Thursday, so there are, students milling around and a reasonable bustle. It's obviously quite early in the year, the semester, I suppose. There's a little bit of a buzz. It's a nice day. Everybody seems reasonably happy. And you head into the main reception and are, directed down various places. And you find your way to the library, and you see a woman sitting at the desk and sort of stamping back in some books, noting back in some books. And she looks up as you come in.
Right. Well, I suppose I will take the lead on this one, given that I'd sent the telegram. So I will step forward and introduce myself. Miss Miriam Attright, is it? I'm Edwin Price.
Edwin Price. What major is it?
Oh, no, sorry. I sent a telegram to you on behalf of, our friend was Jackson Elias.
Oh, yes. Yes, I'm very, very sorry to hear about what happened to Mr. Elias, your friend.
Yes, it was rather a shocking incident. Yes, it's been hard.
Yes, I understand that. Oh, can I get you a water, a coffee?
If we're allowed to consume.
Yes, of course. Just there's like a section over at the side that's sort of book free, and she puts a sign out on the desk and kind of leads you over, and says, "It's quiet at this time in the morning anyway." Gets you all each a drink, and says, "So, is there something specific I can help you with? I admired Jackson, Mr. Elias, greatly. So if I can assist in any way, I would be very happy to."
Well, thank you. Yes, we're hoping to learn more about his research and, well, to be honest, whether it was a cause in in the attack. I he was studying a number of books, and I believe he was interested in one particular volume here. I think you said it was no longer in your collection, but you might be able to find information elsewhere. Can you tell me the book that he was after?
You're on mute.
Yes, it went by the name Africa's Dark Sects. And it mysteriously disappeared from the library a few months before Elias requested it. And by mysteriously, I do mean it seemed to vanish. And there was that day there was an unspeakable odor in the collection the day we noticed it was missing. Oh, excuse me, I'm just thinking about it. Ugh.
Don't think it could have been part of some sort of undergraduate prank, do you?
That is the working theory, but who knows?
I don't suppose the investigation has got anywhere with it.
Unfortunately not. We've not been able to... No, we've no trace. Hide nor hair.
Had there been much interest shown in the book recently before its disappearance? Had anybody taken it out? Or?
Not for a very long time. There are, as you can see, we have a library of a reasonable size here. There are many books that are have wait lists as long as a student might be here. And there are others that have been checked out once in 50 years. So this was one of the latter.
There were no signs of a break-in or any evidence as to, other than the odor that you mentioned?
No, the library is open to students. You understand these are some of the greatest minds in the world, of course.
Of course.
We don't deem it suitable to deny them knowledge when inspiration strikes. They're trusted.
I might throw a glance towards Merit, just in the, at the line. Oh, no knowledge should be sort of restricted.
Merit sort of visibly considering that, but generally like,
Were you about to say something, or?
I was, but by all means.
I've now forgotten what I was going to say, so...
As long as John hasn't also forgotten what he was
then we're deadlocked.
Did Jackson contact you after your letter to him? You offered to see if there was equivalent information somewhere else. I was wondering if he followed up on that at all, or even just told you what he was looking for.
I wish that he did, so I could help you further and have a little more understanding, but I'm afraid not.
Right.
Perhaps he found it elsewhere. It's quite possible that he inquired with numerous people, I suppose, and somebody said yes.
It's possible. We know he was in contact with someone from Miskatonic University. Do you think they're likely to have something equivalent?
She kind of does a little smile, says, "It's possible." You can see she's very proud of her library.
What did the smell like?
Like
Tough question.
like the like the dumpsters out the back of a restaurant on a hot summer's day, I suppose.
And you found nothing that could have caused the smell like that?
No.
And how
Very
long did
strange.
how long did it persist?
Just that day, it seemed to be.
Hmm. And sorry, do you have a? Can you remind me of when this book disappeared? You said it was a few months before.
Yes, I think May or June off the top of my head.
It's very strange.
Quite.
Merritt, do you think there's any value in maybe having a look at that section and just seeing whether there are any other books of interest around? Would that be possible, Miriam? Is that?
Yes, of course, please. And she gets up and takes to lead you over there.
Just an idle curiosity, but whilst we're here, it seems.
It
I'm
seems
not sure.
that if use of another library, if nothing else.
So she takes you over and says, "Please, I'll head back to the desk, but if anything is of interest to you, bring it over to me and we can get you set up somewhere."
Thank you.
So yes, I guess have a look at the books in this section, see if anything looks interesting, springs out in terms of subject matter. Also, just having more of a general look around to see whether, I mean, obviously it's been months and months, but just to get a feel of the place and
Yeah, obviously, very lavish university library. So there's books on literally all kinds of things. You do spot some books on cults, some of which you've seen before in, the New York Public Library, or there's a couple of Jackson's works here that you've, I think Mrs. Farwell has copies of, for example. There's nothing that grabs you as, immediately something to look at. I'm happy for you to use this as an additional library if there are more specific things that you want to look for.
so we know I don't know whether we've looked this stuff up previously. I think we know that the symbol on Elias's forehead we know was linked to the cult of the Bloody Tongue. I can't remember whether we've ever tried looking up information about that cult.
I think Mrs. Farwell did, but I'm not sure if she succeeded.
Well, I suppose, well, whilst we're here, maybe having a quick flick through, just trying to find, again, seeing if there's mention of the cult, seeing if that design crops up. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, would you like to make a library use roll?
Give it a go. Ooh. Okay, I rolled a 4 under 40.
Okay, nice. Okay, you find a little bit of information on them. So you, and this is through a couple of different books, and it's almost like it's weird. There's not a section in a book that describes the cult in its entirety, but what you get is little mentions in, like, for example, so as an example, when you find in a book a section describing weapons used by numerous different cults, it comes up in there that the assassins of the Cult of the Bloody Tongue would traditionally use the panga, which is a long East African bush knife, which looks a little like a machete. And then you find another section in another book, which says that executioners or assassins will wear a headpiece with a dangling red strip protruding from the forehead, resembling a tongue. And in the upper echelons of the cult, it has been known for that to be an actual human tongue.
Neat. Lovely. Keep an eye out for that next time we're wandering around Juju House then, I guess.
But nothing much more.
Sure.
What I will say is I think you have assumed that this cult has potentially come from Africa, like initially, but I think that also gets confirmed in like which books these are in and in the context of where that's being spoken about.
Okay. Well, I think that's all I can think of at the moment, unless anybody else.
Could I have a look for Montgomery Crompton?
I will tell you that there is no more information to be gained about him. I will make the roll. Anything that you want to look at, Jack, for Ted? Or are you quite happy? Maybe flick through some photography.
Yeah, I think
so.
He's leaving a lot of this up to the other guys.
You could, look for how to survive bullet wounds.
He doesn't need to know how. He's already done that.
He's already nailed that. Yeah,
yeah.
He's writing the book on how to survive bullet wounds.
Nice. First step is get someone else to stab you at the same time.
Fall into a pile of rubbish. Hobble home. Get a field medic to patch you up. Go to sleep. That's it. Job done.
That's it, yeah.
How anybody dies from it is beyond Ted.
I was very pleased that we didn't suddenly have to spring out on a side quest of find a doctor we could trust in New York who wasn't going to grass us up to the cops. Having a field medic on the team is definitely a strong play. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything in particular Ted's looking for. He's happy to leave this one up to the academics of the group. And in 3 days' time or 2 days' time, we'll be nearly full health, so we'll be ready to kick in an art shop store and
Nice,
store
excellent.
and take down some cultists.
Well, I won't be fighting with you for that honor. That's all yours.
I mean, you'll be ready as long as you don't get shot again.
Well, as long as it does the exact same damage and no more than last time, I think I'm all right. I think I had a couple of hit points left spare. I'll be fine.
If it shoots you through the existing bullet hole.
Would that be worse or better? I suppose.
I think getting re-tattooed on scar tissue is very sore, so I imagine it would be not very nice.
But
yeah.
Would it do
It's
less
not scar
damage,
tissue, is it?
though?
It's still gooey.
Answers in the comments, please. Join the discussion.
Okay.
Digression, my God. Yeah, so I think having looked around at various books, go back, thank Miriam profusely for her time and expertise, and then head on to Miskatonic, I guess.
Yeah,
It is
she
Miskatonic.
offers. She offers. Ongoing help if you should need anything, just to get back in touch as you're leaving. Says it was nice to meet you, all that kind of stuff. Okay, so you are heading to the Miskatonic to see Professor Anthony Cowles, who is a professor of anthropology. So I'm assuming you're going to the university as soon as you arrive. Yeah. So he is in the. You get directed to the Liberal Arts Building, and to his office, and closed door.
I will knock.
Come in.
I'll open the door, poke my head in.
It was you that had written to him, wasn't it, John? I think.
Yes.
Yeah. He's scribbling something on his desk, but looks up and says, "Oh, Mr. Barton, is it?
Yes.
Oh, come on in. Please have a seat."
These are Mr. Price and Mr. Hobbs.
Oh, I've only got 2 seats. Here, have mine. He pushes his seat round to your side of the table, and stands on his side. And you then notice that sitting in a chair, kind of off in the corner, at another table, also writing something, is a woman. And he says, this is my daughter. Anyway, say hi. And she kind of just looks over and then carries on writing. And he says, so, how can I help?
Well, we're sort of trying to retrace Jackson Elias's last steps. We believe he attended the talk you gave in New York. I suppose I was wondering if you spoke afterwards, if he said anything of what he was working on.
No, I'm afraid I never met the guy. I didn't know he was at my talk.
That's a shame.
But I love his work, but yeah, we never got the chance, I'm afraid. I did hear what happened to him though. I'm sorry if that. Yeah, he was your friend. That's hard yards. Very sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah, sorry, go on.
I was going to say we think his passing may have had something to do with the cult he was investigating at the time. Well, I know your focus is in Polynesian cults, but I don't suppose you know anything about African cults as well, do you?
Not really. I did. No. As I'm sure you may be aware, as academics are pretty narrow lens.
Yes.
So no, I'm afraid not. No. Hate that I'm maybe not being all you might have thought that you were going to get when you came here. You can see his daughter's kind of looking at you, annoyed.
Well, we knew it was somewhat going out on a limb.
But you came because of my talk, right? And
yes,
that's
he
why you
had
got in touch.
a pamphlet for your talk in his pocket when he was found.
Yeah. Have you read any of the write-ups about?
We did.
Okay.
Well, someone.
But you wouldn't have seen these, I don't think. And he pulls out some photographic plates.
Oh.
Which you'll remember were mentioned in the write-up. So, yeah, just again from the write-up, it's a few sweating men standing beside enormous blocks of stone, pitted and eroded, but clearly dressed and formed for architectural purposes. Dim carvings seem to decorate some. Billows of sand are everywhere. So he shows you those and says, so these were made by a guy, Arthur McWhirr, and came to me via Robert McKenzie. So he's a mining engineer and he was McWhirr's executor of his estate. I also got McWhirr's diary. So that's pretty cool. Yeah.
McGuire didn't survive the expedition?
No, it's oh no, it's just he records what happened on the expedition in this diary, including the attacks on the group.
See.
But that's back home in Sydney.
Mm. What sort of attacks were there?
So they were Aboriginals attacking them, and some of the people, the victims, died from was hundreds of tiny punctures, like the
Bats?
bat cult. Yeah.
Interesting. I mean, absolutely no disrespect to you, Doctor. It's just, as you say,
You see his daughter look up again as you start that sentence.
as you say, academics can be quite narrow focused. And I'm not sure why Mr. Elias was seeing a speech about Australian death cults while researching African death cults.
Well, perhaps it was coincidence that he was nearby when I was doing the talk and he wanted to see it, or maybe with some of these things, like with creation myths, a lot of them come from the same place, the same starting point. Perhaps he thought there was some link between what he was looking at and this. Not sure. You do often find recurring themes through, when you're looking at these things.
Jonny, did we get a photograph of the mark that was carved on Elias's forehead and in the Harlem?
I think Jack, I think Ted took one.
Yep. I think we've made it canon that the one in the Dropbox is the one that holds.
The one, okay.
Yeah.
If we have that with us, and I think we would have thought to bring it with us if yes, I don't suppose you've ever seen. Now then, the photograph isn't that graphic, is it? He says, checking the Dropbox one. It's.
I'm happy to say that you could have taken a drawing of the pattern.
Sure, yeah. Let's go with a drawing
if you would prefer.
Instead. Yes, that's probably better. Yes, I'll ask. Have you, in your research, have you ever seen anything like this before?
No, I'm afraid not.
Oh, that's a shame. We believe that this is the cult that, that between you and me, there's the potential that this. What I think, I don't want to be talking about this in front of that this cult of the bloody tongue cult, it is. They might be active in New York. This is why we're obviously interested in. Well, we need to learn more about them, so we have an idea of. Well, I don't know what their motives are, or I don't know.
It's not unheard of for these things to cross an ocean, but it's not common either.
Well, at least now you've seen it. If it pops up on your travels, then.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you.
The other thing, I suppose, is there's a book that we're after that disappeared from Harvard Library. How good's your library here? Is there any chance we might try to hunt down a copy here whilst we're?
I'm sure you'd be welcome to ask at the library, but to be honest, if Harvard don't have it, then
Well, the reason I have it, well, it's a bit strange. It disappeared. That's all. They did have it, just not anymore. But perhaps if you were would be so kind to just a note, letting the proving who we are, that we're here to. With
yeah,
at least your
sure.
knowledge. Thank you.
Yeah. And he scribbles down a note on like the headed paper.
Sure.
Can I take a psychology roll to see whether I think he's been largely truthful?
Oh.
$17 under 40.
Yes, he's totally above board.
Yeah.
He's a nice guy. He's friendly. He's very open. Yeah, you don't have any doubts about it. His daughter stands and says, "Well, my father is a very busy man. I think he's been more than welcoming. But
Psychology roll on daughter?
we do have things to be getting to, I'm afraid."
How?
Go on, John.
I was going to say, how old is the daughter?
Ooh,
12.
I think she's in her early 20s.
Okay.
Yeah, 20. So yeah.
Okay.
Still pretty precocious.
You rolled reasonably well on your psychology, so I'll kind of let it carry over. You get the feeling that she's almost like the one who keeps her dad on track. Like probably, he's quite a brilliant mind, but she can see that he, in this situation, would probably spend the day. He'd go to the library with you and look through the books, and and she won't be rude to him, so she has to be rude to you.
Fine. Yes.
Yeah. Merritt is familiar with this particular breed of academic. Well, thank you, Dr. Cowles.
Yeah, of course. And she says, Professor?
Professor Cowles.
No, I'm not. Professor.
And he, as you're on the way out, he says, by the way, if you're ever in Sydney, I shall be back there from August. Feel free to look me up.
We'll bear that in mind. Thank you, Professor.
You hear his daughter scraping his chair back round to his side of the table as you go out of the door.
I think we check out the library then. While we're here.
I'm now in retrospect feeling I should have perhaps pointed out it is technically Dr. Barton, but...
But he wasn't rude.
No, yeah.
Love it. Just go back in.
Step
a note under the door.
Slam the door.
Love it. Yeah, let's get to the library and see whether they have this book, just on the off chance.
Okay. Yeah, you hand the note over to the librarian and basically get given, full access. And you look in a few different sections that you think it might be in, and then if you want to, you can go and ask the librarian because you're struggling to find it. I don't want to say that you do that in case you wanted to not do that. But that she basically tells you that that's not a book that they have. Again, if you want to have a look for any other stuff here, you are welcome to. But you've turned up a blank on that.
Does Miskatonic is in universe known for some slightly strange areas of research, right? Judging from the professor of Polynesian esoterica. Is there also a professor of African esoterica?
No.
Right.
I thought you were just going to start looking up all of the weird books that.
I think looking at weird books in Miskatonic University's library is a good way to lose sanity.
They're probably in the restricted section.
But I should say, of course, there isn't an Africa department. It's a Lovecraft universe.
Well, I can't think of anything else to look for off the top of my head. So, catch the train back. Anything else? Anything else to do here?
Nothing occurs. Double check through. No.
At least we've got a title, if nothing else.
Cool. Are you heading back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So by the time you get back, it's going to be dark. Maybe time for a late dinner. Say it's like 7:30 p.m. by the time you get back to the hotel. So time to decompress, and I suppose if you desperately wanted to do anything else, you may be able to, depending on what it is.
The thing is, it's night time, so we can't go off and go to City Hall now.
We could drive past Juju House again.
Oh God. Well, I suppose that's slightly less bad than Emerson Imports.
I mean, it could be that we just enjoyed our goat curry that much. We want to go back there for dinner. That was nearby, wasn't it? That was part of the reason.
It was, yeah.
Yep.
We go back there for dinner, and no, it happens.
Oh God.
Go past Juju House.
I suppose we could, although. What would the plan be before we go there and then find ourselves in front of the Juju House again? But is the intention to wander around some more, or try to get into one of the places, or would we just sort of turn up and then stand nervously outside for 10 minutes and then? Which I'm all in favour of. I mean, I'm great at that. I suppose, like, we could figure out whether there's always somebody in the back of the shop, if that light is still there.
That would be useful, I think.
Yeah. I think we go for something to eat in the area again, and if we pass by in a cab, then we just take a little look at the window and see if we see anything. If we don't see anything on the way, maybe we see something on the way back.
Yeah, I suppose the more we look, the more we're likely to get an idea of foot traffic or yeah. Seems reasonable.
Okay.
Obviously, the more we go, the more likely we are to be spotted. But that's.
But if we're in a cab, then it reduces that chance.
Yes.
As long as we don't ask this cab driver to keep circling around the block.
Yeah. Or we always have to check whether the cab driver's wearing a red tongue headdress.
Also, try and get a different cab each time, because otherwise it's just the same vehicle going around every night, which kind of doesn't.
Then they'll kind of get used to it and expect us to turn up, and it'll just become awkward. And...
You'll think it's guaranteed income, and then once you're sacrificed, where's that gone?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going for dinner again? Same place?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, there are other similar places nearby if you wanted to vary.
We could have something else from the menu. You know, I've tried the goat curry now, so.
Okay. Yeah, same place, same server, in fact, who kind of says, "Oh, welcome back," you know, with a smile. And you eat. Are you pressing her for any more info, or anybody else here for any more info, or?
I mean, we could always ask about that. The just starts getting so obvious. The shop next to, like, how long has was it a pawnbrokers?
Yeah.
How long that's been empty, and you know, is it usual for property to? Why would hang on? No, backtrack. No, because us asking about an empty shop is just weird. I'm just going to enjoy the food. I'm going to shut up and enjoy the food.
I'm gonna. Cause we are in. This is in Harlem, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think I'll ask about. I'm going to ask about Hilton and the sort of neighborhood watch that was that they were organizing. Whether they saw them around much, whether they was there ever any trouble, that kind of thing. What people generally think of them.
If you were feeling incredibly brave or foolhardy, you could drop the name of that person and see whether they react.
The one from Juju House.
The one that Hilton Adams first saw, Makunga Mdari. I mean, there's Silas and Kwame as well. I mean, I guess, but then I'm still eating.
I'm just going to ask about Hilton for now.
Yeah, she says, they were good people. There's no way that he did what they say he did. That police captain who he's not a good person, I don't think.
Not generally well liked around town, then.
No, if him or his boys come around, look the other way, maybe walk the other way.
Do they visit this area often?
Yeah. More so than
you'd expect police officers to visit?
Yeah.
I don't suppose there's anyone in the area who has perhaps been taking careful note of these visits from the police, is there?
What, like when? How many? That kind of thing?
Yeah.
Don't think so.
No, that would be an odd thing to keep track of. Thank you.
Out for the taxi?
Yep.
Cool. Do you want to make easy spot hidden rolls?
Yeah.
It's easy.
Because I'm assuming you're
double.
kind of double, yeah. I'm assuming you're kind of looking for the same thing.
Yeah. Definitely a pass.
Yeah.
Pass. I rolled a 13, which is again
nice.
definitely superb.
Yeah, similar flickering light from the back windows. And again, if you are you looping around, trying to get a glance down the alleyway as well?
Why not?
Yeah.
So again, no similar flicker on that side.
Is there like a basement access that we've seen?
No.
Okay.
That's the hotel then.
Yeah. Check messages at the front desk.
Yes, so you had sent Carlton Ramsey off to do some digging for plans for the pawn shop.
For the pawn shop and Juju House, you can get them really.
Okay, would you have said that in the message?
Yes.
That you, yeah. Okay. Yeah, you have a Telegram response saying, have plans for both. Fun story. CR.
Well.
Let's go CR then.
But tomorrow, not tonight.
But, yeah.
So I think that's a good point to stop for the week. So let me just make a note that was Thursday, the 22nd.
Time ticks away.
Can't wait to find out what the firewalls were doing.
They might have been with you.
As long as neither of them got shot, it's fine.
Cool. Cheers, everyone. If anybody has any questions or comments, put them in the chat. There are links to loads of things below the video. Our Twitch, YouTube, social media, Discord. Join that. Come chat with us. And our Patreon. At the moment, all that we're doing on the channel is this on a Monday night, but that will probably change in time. And yeah, hopefully everybody's having a good time with this. I'm having a good time with this. Are there any questions or comments, John?
We have this from 42.
Prime suspect is a bookish garbage man. Yeah.
And then Steve's immediate follow-up.
There's a TV series in that, I reckon. Yeah. I feel like a lot of university students could probably be the bookish garbage man archetype, which maybe means that the TV series is Skins. I don't know.
We've got another one. 42.
Counting is evil. Yeah.
The man's just trying to file his taxes in peace.
He's got these weird people circling outside, trying to break in next door. And...
He's looking out, wondering if it's the IRS.
Yeah. if we keep doing it, we might drive them into a frenzy of paranoia, and they could perhaps just flee, never to darken our doors again.
Maybe that is a good way to get in. Pretends to be the IRS.
Oh my god!
All with British accents.
HMRC then.
Cool. If that's everything, then thanks everybody for joining us. Thanks you guys for playing Masks. And as far as I'm aware, we will be back next week for more fun and games. So yeah, see you then. Cheers, everyone.